How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about NIO. If you haven't heard the news already, they ended up leasing a building in San Jose, California. So are they getting ready for that North American expansion? Hey, I want to make sure you guys are ready. We're going to talk about some more info, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. I also put in a swing trade opportunity in there. You know, this is not financial advice though. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for NIO. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $30.95, being up 1.54%. On the low, it tested $30.08, and then on the high, testing $31.32. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 34.863 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 45.506 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we did see some strength in NIO stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 47.49. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So we are trading below all of our major moving averages, and this tells us right away that NIO is in a bear market. This month earlier, it wasn't too long ago where it tested the $28 level. So that is something to keep in mind, especially if you're thinking about getting in with an entry. Considering the environment that we are in, having to deal with higher interest rates and so on, this stock could pull back even more. But if you're looking to get in, then you could decide for yourself using a dollar cost averaging approach where you'd want to add. But for NIO to start looking bullish again, of course, he's going to have to come back here to reclaim the 200-day to put it back above into a bull market. But to be realistic here, you'd want to see some price action of NIO reaching here right at the 50-day around $34.89. If it's able to do this, this is where you'd want to look forward to seeing that continued momentum. But for the short term, one thing that you want to see NIO actually pull off is getting above this $33 level, because I feel if it can do that, things can get very interesting. As long as it decides to trade in this tight range and deal with this resistance here right around $32, it's going to continue to go between 28 and as well as for 32. So this can also open up an opportunity for options and so forth. So again, that's what it looks like. So you can come up with a strategy whether you want to trade it or you're thinking about taking an investment position in NIO. So let's see how it performs for the coming week. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for NIO. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as you can see here, for new filings, we have Clear Street LLC that went in with just over 2.19 million shares. And we also have a closed position from Baldwin Brothers as well. The next one that we could see, which is for January the 12th, is at Contravisory Investment Management that purchased 123 shares. And then we also have a closed position here from West Oak Capital, but we also see a new position here from FNY Investment Advisors purchasing 50 shares. And then for the 7th of January, we have Future Financial Wealth Management LLC that purchased 250 shares. And that's what we got for the new year so far in regards to new positions. And now when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 45.14%, and then for the dark pool short short volume, it is just over 7.63 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 29 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 0.29%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 13th, it was at 42.39. And then for the close of the 14th, it's at 45.14. So what this tells us right away, yes, NIO does have short squeeze potential. And this is why there's a lot of volatility inside of the stock. So now let's go into the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for NIO. So we can see here on the inflow, it's 178, and then on the outflow, it's at 148. So we ended up having an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, it was 1.35 on the large, 87.94 on the medium, and then on the small, it's at 88.40. Taking a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 73.92, and then on the small, it was 73.77. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for January the 14th that just passed, which was a Friday, we had that inflow of 1,352.95. And then we could see there was an inflow on the 13th and as well as for the 12th. And then we had 2 outflow days on the 11th and as well as for the 10th. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which potentially could represent institutions and funds, this is where we have 1.35 million versus 0. So institutions loading up. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.19%. And this is not too bad for a stock like NIO. We know there's a lot of traders that are going in and out of this play. And we also do know we have increased volatility in the market when it comes to growth stocks. So if you are going to be taking a position, just know that you want to use a dollar cost averaging approach if you're investing for the long term. And if you are going to be trading it, then you want to respect support and those resistance areas and making sure you check out the technicals where I talked about a possible swing trade. Now let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for NIO in regards to the price action, it wasn't too long ago we were testing areas of support right at $28. So now we want to see NIO get past resistance at 32 and then essentially making that move to 33 and as well as 35. So as far as for yourself, if you want to trade this play, you want to have a concrete game plan. But one thing that really stands out, you have to know that NIO is currently in a bear market at the moment. And we also have to take into consideration the overall market conditions. We see that we're going into an environment where we're going to have interest rate increases, and a lot of stocks that are trading at high valuations, they are being corrected. So if you're a trader, this is why I was mentioning you want to have a stop loss so you can manage your overall risk. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So if you have a lot of buying volume coming through the stock, we could see strong moves in price action. And this is why I emphasize paying attention to the overall market conditions and making sure you're doing your homework and as well as your due diligence. And in regards to the news that was released that they leased a building in San Jose, California, this is great. This follows up with the potential that NIO has to be a very dominant player in the EV space. We know they're doing their thing down in China, and the fact that they want to expand into Europe, which we've seen, they've been able to get into Norway and they want to get into other European countries as well. Things are definitely looking great on the operational side. So like I said previously, if you want to build a position inside of NIO, please use a dollar cost averaging approach. And if it does dip, then you should not be concerned about buying the dip because you have high conviction. So let's see how NIO performs for the coming week. I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.